Hello, and welcome to Book 5, Chapter 17 of You Should Be Reading. Today, I'd like to cover not one, but two books by the same author. Basically, the first and the second book in a series. Those books are The Atrocity Archives by Charles Stross and The Jennifer Morgue, also by Charles Stross. Uh, they are the Laundry series that he's done, which is kind of interesting and amusing. It is basically kind of a spy sort of series, but also dealing with Lovecraftian horrors and Nazis and magic and other kinds of creepy crawlies from beyond our universe. These books both have, the two that I have a couple of short stories in them. This one has a short story, The Concrete Jungle, and this one has the short story of Pimpf, P-I-M-P-F, Pimpf. I don't know what that means, but they are interesting. Now, the first book, The Atrocity Archives, starts off with Bob Howard. And what got me to pick this book up was the cover, because it not only has like a cubicle farm and whatnot going on, there's like tentacles coming up from one of the cubicles and a nuclear cloud, mushroom cloud coming up from one of them. But I was like looking at that, but then the tagline at the bottom caught my eye, saying, "Saving the world is Bob Howard's job. There are a surprising number of meetings involved." Just that phrase alone made me interested to pick it up. And I picked up the second one at the same time. I read this one a while ago, but I reread it, and I finally got around to reading this one. This one is all about Bob Howard. He is been inducted into the Laundry, which is the only surviving government offshoot of a secret organization from the Second World War, which was fighting against Hitler's Thule Society and all of the mysticism that they were looking into. So you have these guys here doing some interesting stuff because the Laundry is very much a bureaucracy. It is steeped in bureaucracy and London English uh, bureaucracy as well. So you've got that dry humor and that absolutely tenacious cling to the bureaucracy of it, where if they mention how Bob, if he actually ends up having anything bad happen to him, he still has to fill out these forms because otherwise they'll audit him and it would be bad. So he deals with, they make mention of math. Basically, magic is nothing more than mathematics. Um, you solve the wrong formula or postulate the wrong theorem or propagate the wrong equation in a computer, and you could open a doorway to another universe where, as he says it, the many-angled ones, Lovecraftian horrors that live at the bottom of the Mandelbrot set, which is Mandelbrot is a fractal thing. I don't understand a lot of the terminology that he throws out in here. There's some high-level science terminology that gets thrown around, but despite not understanding that, I still enjoyed it. It was a good book. It involves him end up getting trained for field duty because he wanted to, and he gets sent over to the States to talk to an expatriate, somebody who used to be in London, a Dr. Mo O'Brien, which is Mo is short for Dominique. So he ends up getting in with her, kind of helping her, saving her life, although not quite as heroically as one would think. She gets sent home, and he gets asked to keep around with her because some other force is looking to find her, which ends up culminating in a sort of a dimensional hole to another world that he has to go after her in there and save her from. And it gets strange and interesting real quick. The short story is all about a basically a potential basilisk on the loose. And then this one gets even more interesting because him and Mo are okay in this one. They have a relationship going on, and he gets tapped to work with a member of the U.S. Spy agency that is not only not human but has some sort of a um, sexual demon attached to her that lets her feed off of other people. So he gets sent onto this because he there's a lot of this, as they say right here. The tagline: the name is Howard, Bob Howard, kind of like a James Bond thing, followed by "Please don't hurt me," because James Bond is big in this book. Because the bad guy is this billionaire that has set up a field, which is kind of a Gaius field, which is following a specific plot. That specific plot means that nobody can actually get to him to stop him except one particular hero, one archetype. That archetype being James Bond. So they set Bob Howard here up to be James Bond and throw him into this plot, and he has to make all the right moves without knowing it to get close to this guy in order to stop him. And it is quite enjoyable. It is an enjoyable book. And it is definitely steeped in bureaucracy, as I said. There's lots of the dry British humor involved in this, which I am a big fan of. So yeah, these are a couple of good books. They call him a demonology hacker, which is kind of cool. There's lots of little tech humor and fun poked at the tech industry and how things are. It's very strange. If any of you have seen my review of Rule 34, I believe I did, which is also by Charles Stross. Definitely, I enjoyed that book quite a bit, and I'm enjoying these ones as well. I'm going to have to check out the rest of his stuff. So, yeah. If anything that I've said has piqued your interest at all, Charles Stross is an author to check out with his Laundry series. So, I'm going to leave this episode here. Thank you all so much for watching. As always, if you like what I'm doing, please give that like button a tap. Give that subscribe button a tap as well if you haven't already, so you can be kept apprised of when I do new videos. And throw a comment in the comment section. Have you read any of the Laundry books? Anything of Charles Stross? Do you know of any other books similar to these that you think I might like? Throw those comments in the comment section. I'd love to get a discussion going with some people. And until next time, remember, you should be reading The Atrocity Archives and The Jennifer Morgue by Charles Stross. And I'll see you next time.